right, Steve, here we go with this endurance race. And I'll tell you something, it's going to be a slightly different look and feel to what we had in the sprint races, because these guys now have to conserve tires. They're going to make sure that the cars last for all 2 hours. And remember, there's driver change-ups that's going to be happening right the way through this.
All right, so let's get right back to the basics at the moment in terms of leading out this 2-hour endurance race at Phakisa. So Kenny Groenewald, because he set the fastest qualifying lap in race 1, means he goes to pole position. He will carry success ballast based on his championship position at the moment. So, all to look forward to. Are you ready for 2 hours, Greg?
I'm looking forward to this. I'll tell you something, a completely different format of racing for these guys. Just hope that we're going to get the same kind of racing that was expected. See the Cunha boys going at it early on, and it looks like the Audis are going at it too. A bit further back, Class T starts out with Van Rooyen on pole, and then the GTI is followed by the 2 Fords, or behind the 2 Fords for now, but it should be a matter of time before we see some race action. Looks like Nathan might be having a little problems here. Look at Quamby pulling away from him. I think he probably has the same limp mode hassle that he had early on. Yeah, with Michelle Singh sneaking through, there's definitely a problem on Nathan's car. He's going to have to go in for an early pit stop.
Any idea what you think that problem might be?
Well, in the second sprint race, he came in and the car had gone completely into limp mode. They had to stop the car, reboot the computer, and then get him out again. And fortunately, he was able to get up to 3rd place. So if he gets in early, he might still be able to make up the ground that he loses in his pit stop, because remember, they've got to be in the pit lane for 5 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. And 3 of those to boot.
So this might be an unscheduled stop, but he might be able to make it work for him. But further up the field in Class A, a battle between Pinard and Steven. And in fact, in Michael Stevens' car right now, it's Terry Moss. Can you believe it? The old man of the mountains from Audi is out there and running at the front end of the field and showing these boys he's still got what it takes.
Look at Marco de Cunha in that 350Z Nissan. Unbelievable. Around the outside he went there. I didn't think he had so much grunt. Have a look at the inside here. It's Richard Pinard as well. Oh, he taps Terry Moss. He's not going to be like that. I bet you Terry's going to have a few words to say.
No, I think he might go get a bit of retribution. Keeps the car running. Remember the last time that we had a South African Touring Car Championship? In fact, the last round was held here at Phakisa Freeway, and he won that race. So there's a good possibility we'll see him sneaking back through the field as they come in. Awesome driving from Terry Moss. He's now in a production car and going all at it.
Yeah, and I also notice he still fits his race suit very well, too.
He does indeed. Paulo de Cunha looking to try and close up on the back end of his brother. His brother's going on the inside of Chop Sapuka, looking for a way through and finding it. So this is a nice little battle at the back end of the field. We can see Pinard just up front, and then just ahead of him, Johan Fourie. Now Fourie is partnering up with Kursi Swanepoel. That should be a very interesting little partnership, and the 2 of them are going to go at it.
So there's a nice little shot of the Class T car of Gennaro Bonafide. And in fact, all of these are Class T at the moment. Fomato's in the mix. Dangerously placed at the moment in the championship, 6 points off the lead. And I'll tell you what, this endurance race will count double points. So anybody who really gets up there high is going to do their championship the world of good.
Van Rooyen would like to make it 3 out of 3 and see if he can maybe get that Opel and take another victory. Remember, he's up at the front end of the first sprint race. He's now leading out with Famata on his tail. Famata has to worry about the fact he's got Terry Moss in an Audi S4 just behind him and putting the pressure on. He's not going to worry about that. He wants to hunt down the Williams Hunt man.
Yeah, also there's another award out here in this endurance race. It's basically about driving a consistent race in terms of your lap times. They call it the
Index of Performance.
Correct.
And that's what they're all driving for as well. There will be an award for that at the end of the day's racing. And so far, the way things are going, it may just be a Class T man who outdoes the Class A boys for that Index of Performance. But we'll wait and see until the end of the race for that one to be won out.
Look at those lovely Q8 oil, the 350Z Nissans, Marco de Cunha, Paulo de Cunha, their brothers. It was a bit unfortunate as well, because we were hoping to see the brand new 370Z Nissan. It did turn a wheel, it did some practicing in it, but I think it'll be ready for the next race. It'd be lovely to have that on board as well.
Can you imagine that pace down in Aldo Scribanti? Right now, the pace at the front end starting to heat up in Class T as things start to change up dramatically here. It is Michael Van Rooyen who's now got the Audi between himself and Gary Famata, so that's not a bad move. And in fact, he's putting in some really hot lap times here early on, trying to break the field a little bit, get away from Famata and put the pressure onto him.
As we can see, the temperatures are starting to dwindle down to the minus area as well. Very, very, very cold in this part of the world. And also the light will start to fade. And then we'll see some extremely, very, very good racing as well. And also, you'll see how hot these boys get on the brakes.
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking forward to seeing those brake discs being lit up. Gary Famata using the brakes now and falling back slightly. There goes the Audi. I think Terry's going to just blast around his outside and get away from Van Rooyen. And now that battle will resume with Phakisa as we see the Class A boys going on to the back straight away. You can see just taking it a little bit more gingerly, probably 8/10 as opposed to 10/10. Graham Nathan in the pits, and you can see Rob Green Motorsport at work big time.
In the air system, unfortunately, somewhere. But we're trying to solve, but we'll be okay.
Should be okay to fix it, though, eh?
We're going to try, that's for sure.
Well, you can see that as the race continues on the track, frantic efforts being put in there by Rob Green Motorsport and Graham Nathan's crew to get him back on track, to close down on these guys. He's losing laps, which is going to cost him at the end of the day. But remember, these guys all have to come in at some stage and also make a pit stop. So it evens things out. The unscheduled stop, not quite in the plans for Nathan Motorsport, but he's back on track. That's a good thing.
Just before we focused on Graham Nathan, there was a nice little shot there of Marcel Singh in that BMW diesel as well. And I am encouraged to see that it is still circulating.
Speaking of BMWs, into pit lane. This is probably one of the scheduled stops here for the BMW team, and it's going to be Polter who's on board that car at the moment. He's going to hand back to Melville Priest a bit later on. As the action continues on track, you can see frantic action being done onto the BMW to change those front wheels.
He's a former production car champion in his own right as well.
Yes, he is, and he knows how to drive these cars. I'll tell you something, look out for the battle between the BMW boys. So far, so good, buddy.
Yeah, everything's going all right. I think we just maybe have got a tyre problem now. We're just going to have to sort it out.
Part of the strategy, or was this unplanned stop?
No, not a strategy, unplanned stop, yeah.
Okay, so everything will go right as soon as you get the tyres back on, you back in the car?
Yes, yeah, we'll go back in the car.
So you can see these guys having to take it very gingerly and make sure that things go according to plan. Etienne van der Linde climbing out of the car. Richard Rutz about to go and step in. He's also been out for a while. Are you looking forward to getting out there, bud?
It's going to be awesome. A bit quicker than we expected, but let's make the best of it.
All the best, and just keep this car flying.
We'll do that.
So far, so good, mate.
Yeah, we're just running into some tyre problems. The car is so good and so consistent, but sadly, somehow it's just delaminating some of the rubber.
Don't feel bad. It's almost every single car here.
Okay, now I feel better.
John, are getting in the car now?
John's up now for his first stint, so we'll see how it pans out from here.
I said you must be flying because these brakes are cooking.
Yeah, I know. Cooking with gas there. No, he's pushing and we try to keep a consistent pace, but I don't know where we're at the moment, but things are going right.
Well, that's all good. This is all part of the plan.